What is up, people? This is me, Spec Pro Football 24 here, back with another commentary. You see, I decided to post up this gameplay of me playing Madden 08, and I thought, okay, there was a couple of topics that was going through my mind with this whole game and with the team I'm playing, which is of course the Eagles. You see, the one thing I was thinking of off the top of my head, one topic, was a fantasy draft. Until I talked to certain people about it, and some people said it wasn't a good idea. Because with an unlicensed game, they felt like, okay, that's your fantasy draft right there with just an unlicensed game. Because I felt like when when All Pro Football 2K came out, the one thing that I didn't like when I was playing the season mode was I hated how, let's say if I'm facing Jerry Rice, right, on one team, I didn't like how you have to face him again but on another team. So basically it would be like just a duplicate of Jerry Rice. That's what I'm saying. Like if we're gonna have something like this, we're gonna be lazy and not put that one player there and have him stay there, then I would say yeah, I think it'd be good for a fantasy draft. But since that wasn't the idea, this was the idea that came to my head. I was talking to JM16 about this, and I felt like this would be a great addition to have for Joe Montana Football 16. What really came to my head with this idea was Chip Kelly and the Eagles, and it was NFL head coach. Those two things that came to my head. Now, what is it that came to my head? The third one is the off season, which we're in the off season right now. The one I was thinking of was having your players, having to choose what your players should eat, what your players should work out with, and there should be some pros and cons with this. The pros with having, let's say for example, the Chip Kelly sports science thing that's going on with him, where he has people eat right. They eat like vegetables and fruits and everything. They have them drink smoothies. They have them come around for workouts on the off season. They make sure that they have quarterback and wide receiver be in sync with each other. Like for example, I'm gonna bring up last season with Mark Sanchez and Jordan Matthews. Mark Sanchez threw more to Jordan Matthews than he threw more for Jeremy Maclin. For Nick Foles, he threw more for Jeremy Maclin than he threw more for Jordan Matthews. You see what I'm getting at here? Those are the kind of things that would be great to see, having activity to where your quarterback and your wide receiver, specific ones that can be in sync with each other, on a practice field. And then you'll have the one where I explained, okay, if you get to decide what kind of food that your players should eat for the off season, where, like I just mentioned with Chip Kelly's sports science thing that's going on with the fruits and everything, and the food and training and everything that he's doing, keeping his players healthy best they can. The pros with that, as I just mentioned, was everybody's going to eat fruit. They're healthy, strong, best as they can be. Stamina way up the roof, because that's exactly how it went for last season and the season before that with Chip Kelly's offense, is where they were so fast. They was running up the field so freaking fast that they had to have a timer for how many seconds will it take for the Eagles offense to snap the ball. That's pretty crazy, right? Now, you get to choose or not if you want them to go with this method or not. The second method would be, okay, you just eat the usual things, like say, okay, you got Taco Tuesdays, chicken, whatever you wish. They can have stuff, if they had stuff like this to where, okay, you can eat anything you want on one option, but the other option is just straight up fruits and vegetables, and then you get to choose, how your players are going to train. Not only with Joe Montana, that would be great to have, with you just playing as your team, but basically you being more like having full control like a head coach or owner would have if this was NFL head coach. Basically you get to choose what your players eat. You obviously get to choose them in the draft, pick who you want, trade up, trade down, whoever you want, trade players. Have the straight up full on experience of not only of an owner, but somewhat of a head coach as well. That would be great to have around. Now let me show you some examples of how Chip Kelly does with his off-season thing. I mean, like, I swear, I feel like even when it's off-season, nobody stops training. Nobody stops trying to get better. Let me show you guys this example right here.
Chip Kelly's coaching methods would be unique and unconventional. On Wednesday, we may have found out just how much. Awaiting the Eagles players as they left the practice field was a table with cups of personalized protein shakes. Yeah, personalized protein shakes. That means each player had his own cup with his name on it and a drink that specifically fits his workout. That's something I've never seen before. A lot of the Eagles said it's something they've never seen before. That's kind of the theme around here. The NovaCare complex may be the same, but everything is different, from how they practice, how they work in the classroom, how they listen to music out here on the fields. At the NovaCare complex, for CSNPhilly.com, I'm Jeff Mosher.
Asked on Twitter if he had a cheesesteak yet in Philly. The Eagles' fourth-round pick said not yet, and then asked for suggestions to his followers. Considering what his coaches want, he may need to hold off that part of his diet. Barkley and the Eagles draft picks concluded rookie camp yesterday. Today, the veterans are at the NovaCare complex in South Philly for the start of Eagles OTAs. That's where Janine Edwards joins us this morning. And Janine, there's an interest around the league to see what former Oregon coach Chip Kelly will bring to the field in his first year with the Eagles. How has he put his stamp on the organization so far?
Well, to quote Jeremy Macklin from yesterday, Kevin, don't blink. Because everything goes at warp speed here under Chip Kelly. Everything from meetings to getting on and off the practice field to the practices themselves, everything is ratcheted up, and all the players, everybody is talking about it. But there's another thing that we noticed in being here is that Chip Kelly has completely overhauled the nutritional aspect of this organization. Everything in the cafeteria has been remade, and everyone from upper management to the staffers to the players are commenting on it. You go in the cafeteria and you see nothing but healthy food choices, because Chip Kelly believes that elite athletes need optimal nutrition. So there are basically 4 main food stations in the cafeteria, and there are signs over each food station explaining what they are and what they're good for. And gone are things like Taco Tuesdays and Fast Food Fridays, which the players are not too happy about. But pizza, chicken wings, fried foods, even red meat is off the menu. They want nothing but organic, hormone and antibiotic-free lean meats, all kinds of healthy stuff. But the question, Kevin, is exactly how is Chip Kelly controlling what these guys eat when they're at home?
Give us your impression of Sam from what you've seen the last couple of weeks in off-season workouts. Is he throwing yet? And if so, how does he look to you right now?
Yeah, we've been throwing for the past 3 weeks, and I can honestly say I've thrown with Andrew, Nick, some of the other guys, and I don't think I've thrown with a guy that has a stronger arm than Sam Bradford. He hasn't really truly been able to get his full legs underneath him, but the ball still comes out effortlessly, and it's a lot of fun to run routes with him.
Now, how surprised were you? You mentioned Nick Foles. How were you surprised? I know you guys were close to find out he'd been traded to the Rams for Sam Bradford. And how confident are you that Sam can lead this team to the playoffs?
Yeah, I think everyone was surprised that we traded Nick. But in this point of our offseason, we need to truly evaluate each and every position. And we thought that we could get better with the addition of Sam. Unfortunately, Nick and I were very close, so I think it was tough losing a great friend in Nick. But we're really excited in Sam and the things that he can bring to this offense. We're very comfortable with the quarterback position on this team with Sam and Mark, and either of those 2 guys we think can lead us to the playoffs.
And as you can see, that's exactly how it works. I mean, he bans Taco Tuesdays, he bans all this other event stuff that will go on involving, food that doesn't have any fruit or vegetables in it. But instead, he has it to where you drink smoothies, probably fruit smoothies and juice or good juice, and you got all this stuff going on with him. You wonder why his players were so healthy. Everybody wondered how that entire 2013 season, really nobody was injured at all. Nobody was injured. And then we look at it through last year with Jeremy Maclin, where everybody was questioning with Jeremy Maclin if he was going to come back and ball the way how he would normally ball, or if he dropped off a little. He came back with a vengeance. This is why I constantly get into arguments with people that really think that Sam Bradford is just going to get injured just like that. You got to look at what Chip Kelly is doing with these injury-prone players. He's making them better with this program. In my opinion, he's making them better. We're really going to see how better they're going to be really come regular season time, week 1, week 2, with the Falcons and then the Cowboys. We're really going to find out how better they are. But still, this is what I'm saying. The pros of it, your stamina is, your stamina, let's take it in a Madden perspective with ratings. Your stamina will shot up through the roof with the players. Their stamina will be up. Not only that, their injury rating will go up. So there's a less chance of them being injured. Very less chance of them being injured. So say okay, this character right here, he has an injury overall of an 80. You put him through Chip Kelly's system, his overall rating for injuries is going to skyrocket, probably up to a 90, plus 10. This could really work out in this case, but I can't say that for sure until we really see how good these players are coming off of injuries with this Eagles team come this season. But what I would say is this, for my opinion, that would be a great addition to have. Have a choice for you in the offseason, for you to keep on training your players or for you to not train your players, and then have it going with you doing the Chip Kelly style system, which is you have your players eating fruits and vegetables, drinking fruit smoothies, drinking V8 juice or something like that. These are the type of things that can probably help you win a lot more, let's say, playoff wins or championships that way. It has to depend on what the coach is going to do for the team. Is he going to, have them do this, have them do that? It really depends. It really comes down to that at the end of the day. For me, it does. Right along with players playing, I feel like what impact the coach is going to have on the off season is going to help out even more. But it all going to depends on what will happen with the regular season, and it all really depends on if this mode, or in this case, will be put in with Joe Montana 16 with franchise mode. I would love that to happen. I would have my players not train hard, but do off-season stages. Again, this is exactly the way how Chip Kelly running his team. There's off-season stages with right now they're in stage 2 where they do workouts, non-contact workouts right now. For Sam Bradford, that's the issue with him right now. Doing non-contact workouts, see if he can run, be mobile, doing this and that. And then you got the thing going on with Eric Rowe right now. There's a Twitter video up with Eric Rowe showing off his footwork. Polishing your skills, getting better and better and better and better. It would be great to see more training drills. With Madden 09, they had a pretty solid amount of training drills. But with this, I would love a lot more. You had to participate in these training drills, having you become the player that makes him more better and better in the offseason. But you also have to do this as well. This will make it a lot more better. You have to set up scheduling plans with them, like on NFL 2K5, where they had you, okay, you do this and you do that. You make sure you have to keep the player active as well before the game time even comes around. Because if you don't, let's say, for example, Deshaun Jackson speed, 99, right? But you have him slug off a little, he's going to drop down to at least about a 97, 96, probably a 98. That's what I'm saying. You have to keep it going with the player. It'll make you feel more and more like not only the player, not only the owner, but just pretty much everyone all around. That would be great, man. But maybe for people, that'll be a little bit too much. Maybe. But, hey, for me, it was an NFL 2K5 where what would happen if I slug off too much with the players. They do not get, their overall for me actually ended up dropping instead of staying the way they were or rising. When you don't do anything with the players, they're just going to sit around, be sluggish, be lazy, not do anything. So, yeah, that's how I feel on this situation with that. And I have to point this out as well. Everything that we've been saying so far about Joe Montana 16 with the creative stadiums, with, you know, football plays that you see from other football games, like say All Pro Football 2K, like oh snap, you saw this play right here, you saw that play right there, you know, realism. We basically said enough that we had to say with Joe Montana. We really said enough. I mean, we mentioned the presentation, we mentioned the gameplay, hopefully having to be resembled on NFL 2K5's type of play or All Pro Football 2K8's type of play. I mean, we said enough with that. I said enough with the customization. Customization for me is really very, very big. And now with this, with the franchise mode, getting more and more in depth with the franchise mode is one thing I would really love. You know, not just you having to play 17 games or 16 games the entire season plus the playoffs in the postseason, but you having to keep it going, keep the, you know, keep your players better and better. Have it to be your choice to keep them better and better, not just have them slack off throughout the rest of the off season, and then when you're coming through the season, they're not going to do as well. See what I'm saying? That will work out great with me. I would love something like that. Yeah, we said everything that had to be said with Joe Montana, and now that's left is Damon Grow to make it happen. Hopefully he's listening to what I have to say to make this happen. There's nothing else that I would say right there. If he put something like this in here, I would freaking love that. I would love that, man. So, you know, yeah, man, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
New York comes out in their nickel package with the throw broken up.
I'll tell you, that's exactly what you're supposed to do if you don't reach your quarterback. Get your hands up and cause an incomplete pass. Here's a no-huddle. It's a good way to keep the defense off balance.
Unleashes the deep ball. Right on target to the wide receiver.
That was a heck of a throw. The ball had to be in the one spot and the only spot where it could be thrown.
11th play of this drive. Cross play to the left. Number 59 comes up to make the play at the 20.
The defense is trying to shut down the running game early to force him to pass. We'll have to see if it works and causes him to give up on it here in the first half.
1 yard gain on that play. Number 92 is there for the tackle at the 9. It's first and goal at the 9-yard line. They got it into the end zone on their last red zone drive. Looks to the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles. That ball was thrown perfectly and accurately, and he caught it for the score.
This was a touchdown because the defense was playing cover too. There were mistakes made in the cover, which left an option for the quarterback that he normally wouldn't have had.
Janikowski comes in to attempt the point after. The extra point attempt is good. That's